Hello everyone, in this video we will discuss limits and we will divide the video into two parts. For the first part we will see these two, and for the second part we will see these three. And let's go to the first one. If we have this function fx is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x minus 1, then if we substitute x is equal to 1, the formula becomes 0 over 0. That's mean the value of f when x is equal to 0 is undefined. But what happened with the value of f when x gets closer to 0? So what we have, if we look at the graph here, then when it's getting closer to 1, we have, if we see the table, when x closer to 1, then fx is closer to 4. This one also getting closer to 4. Then we have the value of fx approaches 4 as x gets closer to 1. So if we have a function which is defined on an open interval that contains c except possibly at c itself, if the value of fx gets closer and closer to a fixed value, say L, as x gets closer to c, then f is said to have a limit at c, and the limit of fx as x gets closer to c is equal to L. And we use the following notation. So if we have something like this, please be aware that we are not substituting x is become 1, so we don't plug x equal to 1 there, but we only want to see what is the value of x when x gets closer to 1. So please be careful with that. So that's the concept of limit. And what is the formal definition? This is the formal definition of limit. And for example, like this, when we have something like this, what you have, so we know before that the limit x approaches 1 from here is equal to 1. From here is equal to 4. So basically we can use the definition of limit, but we will not discuss how to prove it using the definition. Okay, and what is the properties? The first property, theorem 3, we have if limit x approaches c, fx exists, then it is unique. So the value cannot be more than 1. And next we have if c and k be real numbers, we have the limit. So this one is fixed k. We get limit x approaches c from k is equal to k, because if you have a constant function, then whatever you have c here, to know where is your c. When x approaches c, then you still get the value is equal to k. Okay, so hopefully that's clear enough. And if you have limit x approaches c from x is equal to c, because if you have fx is equal to x, that's the linear function, then whatever you approach whenever you have c, then you will get the same c here for your fx. And this is the another properties. So you have the limit of addition, you will get the same as the addition of limit. And scalar multiplication, k times something, so you can get k, you can take out your k, and this is the multiplication, so you have the multiplication of limit. Then this one is the division. And this is another properties of limit. You will have this kind of stuff, and we go directly to the example here. For example, like this, we want to calculate the limit x approaches -1 from 2x plus 3. If you see the properties, you can calculate it easily. So please see the concept, not only see how to calculate. So if you have something like this, you can use the properties of addition of limit. So you get here, and then you know the scalar multiplication. You have this x and this one, and using the properties of limit, you have this is equal to -1 and this is equal to 3. Then what you have -2 plus 3 is equal to 1. So hopefully that's clear enough. And this one is for the division. You also have the same thing, x approaches 1 to x squared plus 3x minus 1 over x plus 2. We will go a little bit faster. We have 2 times limit x approaches 1 x here square plus 3 times limit x approaches 1 x minus limit x approaches 1 from 1. Okay, and for the denominator, we know that we can do like this. We have limit x approaches 1 from x plus limit x approaches 1 from 2. Okay, so what you have, 2 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 2. You have 4 over 3. So this is the reason why in some cases you can plug in the value of c to your x. So because you have the properties of limit. So hopefully you can catch the concept behind it. So you are not only try to substituting the value, but you know the reason behind it. Okay, next we go to the squeeze theorem. Why is it we say squeeze? Because if we have 3 functions which satisfies the condition, so fx is less than or equal to gx and gx is less than or equal to hx. So if the limit of both here and this one are the same, so it's like we squeeze it, so no choice. We have limit x approaches c from gx will be equal to k. So for example, like this. So we will use in certain condition later on, but this is the example. We have -1 is less than or equal to sinus 1 over x squared. This one is less than or equal to 1. If we multiply with x squared, so what we have, so please mention that x squared is always non-negative. That's why we have the position here remain the same. So we have this one. So if we see here, limit x approaches 0 minus x squared is equal to 0. And this one also, limit x approaches 0 from x squared is also 0. Then we have limit x approaches 0 from x squared sinus 1 over x squared is equal to 0. So that's the example. Okay, so next we will see one-sided limits. First, we will discuss the left side limits. And what we have, if we have f be a function which is defined in an open interval contain c except possibly at c itself, then if the value of fx getting closer to a fixed value, say L, and then gets closer, but here please note that we only see when x less than c, and we say f have the left-sided limit at c, And yeah, this is the left-sided limit of f. So usually we use this notation. Please mention there is a minus here, and that means we try to approach C from the left. So what is the meaning approach C from the left? Yeah, we look at the value x when x less than C, but as close as possible to C. Okay, so when x less than C and x as close as possible to C. And this is the formal definition of that, but we will not discuss it further. And we have left, then we also have right. That's why, yeah, that's also the same, the concept. But we see from the right, and we have x greater than C. And yeah, the concept is almost the same. So we try to approach C from the right. So we take as close as possible to C. But yeah, we have x is greater than C. And this is the formal definition of right-sided limit. And what is the properties? We have if the limit x approaches C, fx exists, the sufficient and necessary condition for the axis is the limit from the left here, left-sided limit, and the right-sided limit are the same. So if they are different, if this one is different, then what we have a limit x approaches C, fx does not exist. For example, like this, we have limit x approaches 1 from the left, fx. So because we have x is less than 1, we have here is we are using 2x minus 2, correct? So is equal to 0. And when x approaches 1 from the right, we have we are using this because we have x is greater than 1. We have here 1 from the right, x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. So we have a limit x approaches 1, fx is exists and is equal to 0. Okay, so hopefully that's clear enough. And for the next example, we have this what we want to do. So if we see the absolute value, so we have x minus 2 will be absolute value. That will be x minus 2 itself when x minus 2 is greater than equal to 0. So that's why we have x greater than equal to 2. Okay, and that will be the minus when x minus 2 is less than 0. When is it? It will be when this. Okay, so we have our fx will be equal to x minus 2 over x minus 2. That will give you 1 when x is greater than or equal to 2. Then you have the minus x minus 2 over x of minus 2, that's equal to minus 1, is equal to minus 1 when x is less than 2. So we have a limit x approaches 2 from the left, fx is equal to minus 1, and limit x approaches 2 from the right of fx is equal to 1. So we have the left side limit and the right side limits are different. That's why we get limit x approaches 1, fx does not exist. Okay, so that's all for the explanation for limit. So please look at the part 2 for infinity limits and limit of trigonometric function and etc. I think that's all for this video. See you in the next video. Thank you.